The game of Pass the Viewer, Epicenter EN1 ended up winning.
I feel like a Viking.
Why?
Sending a raiding party off to one stream and then realising we've got to go back and raid our own village and come back and re-raid and...
It's very exciting. I loved it. I was at the edge of my seat for the whole raid.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Pillaging villages, pillaging streams.
Yeah.
Dragging viewers along with us one way and the other.
What do we do with those viewers?
We sit them down and tell them to watch the games.
Ah, okay. That's very wholesome. And what games are we watching today, Gareth?
10 seconds remaining.
Video games.
No, what game? It's Boom ID versus Fnatic. You know what I meant to you. Don't laugh at me like that. Boom ID versus Fnatic. A nice best of 3 to finish up the day of exciting and great Dota. And your casters for today, of course, D Swordfish and this person is
nerd.
Gareth. This nerd is Gareth.
Upper bracket final, best of 3. Winner of this goes into the grand final. It is double elimination though, so the loser will drop down to the lower bracket final, where they'll face the winner of Geek Fam and Power of Malaysia, Singapore and Australia, the winter stack. Of course, we will be focusing on this best of 3 to kick things off. We've got a Sand King into ABED and Rubik, and the Leshrac comes out to play. Sand King Lesh, I love it. I'm a big fan of this combo. Gives you so much laning, threatening power to kill, particularly safe lane cores early on in the game. While Boom ID go for, I want to say a bit more of a wishy-washy start. Abaddon, yes, is a pretty solid laner. Rubik doesn't give anything away, and against the Sand King, always a reasonable pick to get that Burrow Strike in your hands. But it doesn't set up your lanes in any particular way that can deal with this Sand King Leshrac. So it's going to come down to this second ban stage now. Fnatic banning out the Monkey. I would assume like a Juggernaut or a Lifestealer would be one of their removals potentially as well.
I agree with the wishy-washy start comment. It's two defensive supports essentially. Abaddon can deal a lot of damage from Miscoil, but they're both there to ensure that your carry has a decent laning stage. Not as much that to propose kills. So Boom ID might be more inclined to get those carries that can have a greater impact, as we've been seeing. The ban Lifestealer. We can see, for example, the Morphling's been banned for sure. They don't want to give that to Fervian again. Last time his performance was crazy.
Shadow Shaman too, you know, you're seeing these...
Yeah, they're seeing them banned
bans basically. Fnatic doing their homework. Watching the games as they progress. 4th ban from Boom. Super important to set up your pivot pick here, especially when you pick support duo first phase. You want that 3rd pick to really kind of create the paradigm of the draft between the two teams. You want to force your opponents to react to what you're doing. You know, whether it is a Brewmaster that your opponents have to kind of react to the teamfight chaos he brings, or heroes such as, you know, Terrorblade, Phantom Lancer. Razor is another big one that kind of deters certain picks, but also forces the hand of your opponents to go down a different direction. But that's the pick that you have to worry about. The ban into the pick, you know, you're looking at heroes here that can, sniper, that you don't have jump for. Again, this kind of passive defensive support duo don't have that catch. And Dusa, a hero that I didn't mention in that 3rd spot, very powerful to really set the tempo of the game, where you start looking at that 25-minute clock, where you start the timer after that, in terms of ending the match, with the Medusa being pretty ready once she reaches level 15.
That Dusa works nicely with the Rubik Abaddon combo we were talking about. I mean, like I said, they're here to stabilize your lanes, not as much to get kills. Dusa is great at that because she also has that power peak that you were mentioning with that Mystic Snake. Once you reach the level 7 more or less, you can start actually determining the tempo of the game. She has a good farming capability as well, in case the lanes don't go too much your way and they get a couple kills on you. And you can always, I mean, you can't really rotate mid, but Medusa doesn't really need that, which is nice. Fnatic now, I'm probably going to pick the position 5, as you were mentioning earlier. Usually you want the position 5 to not reveal too much about your lineup. What could we be seeing here now that you see the Dusa? What are you interested in?
Not yet, but I think 4th pick Anti-Mage could come out. It's definitely on the cards. But
they don't have much stun, so I can see that.
Yeah, exactly. There's no lockdown against the Medusa. I think AM being unbanned here, 4th pick potential is definitely there for them.
What's position 5?
Other directions. Yeah, position 5 in this 3rd spot, you're right, is more likely to get picked up initially. Oracle left out there. I
completely forgot that Oracle was in the pool.
The other option would be like a Disruptor or something to add more team fight to your Sand King Lesh, but Oracle giving you the save. You don't know what's coming out from Boom ID in the next couple of picks.
Oracle's also really good at stopping the Dusa coming later parts of the game. You either false promise your carry, so you can actually hit the Dusa, or you fate seek the Dusa, which is actually brutal against the hero that essentially forced to Manta style, just a simple fate seeding. So With the lower cooldown as well, that can be really, really impactful. We'll see now with Boom ID, the 4th pick now. They should be considering the potential item for Fnatic, actually. So they need some more catch. I wouldn't mind seeing... because the enemy team has the Sanking, so... Honestly, we've seen some success with the Centaur. I don't mind the Centaur here again, because the Deuce does need that extra mobility sometimes. And the Stone Gaze plus Stampede does give you a lot of mobility. And you do bring the stun to the table. Very reliable as well. What other offlaners we could see?
It's a rough one, and I'm wondering if they maybe leave their offlane until last and pick their safe lane, like Juggernaut, for instance, now. Have that Jugger-Deucer pairing.
Yeah.
Because if you pick, like for instance, if you pick a Darkseer now, the AM comes out and you're screwed. You pick a Centaur or Tide and things don't look particularly good either up against like an AM Oracle duo.
There it is.
They'll go for the Centaur. I guess Centaur is probably the best of the rest. He doesn't suffer as much in that laning position. And of course, Anti-Mage isn't a guaranteed pick here for Fnatic, right? It's MP. We're much more likely to see him grab something like the Ursa, the Juggernaut, more of these mainstay space-creating carries, while ABED plays the hard carry from the mid lane.
Yeah, in fact, since you don't have last pick here, you might want to actually just pick your mid lane or leave your carry till last. If you're not too concerned about the bans here. We'll see what Fnatic wants to do here. We have against a Deuce, so you know the matchup, so... Okay, Necrophos, you leave it somewhat open, I guess. Like Necrophos does have a lot of versatility in lane. Because Necrophos ABED, you know, that's not the typical way of Fnatic you're playing. You were just mentioning, right? ABED is your main carry. You cannot have Necrophos being that. Not that meta anymore. But Necrophos against Medusa, I don't think is the best of matchups, right? Because Mystic Snake stops you from doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a safe lane Necro, right?
Exactly,
that's an option.
I like the Necro pick besides that, though. You get this bit of stun for the Medusa. It really, really crushes the Centaur. And the sustain with Oracle plus Necrophos is really strong, right? And you also have a Guardian Greaves carrier, because Sanking is not the best Guardian Greaves carrier. Like, you can still go for them, and we've still seen him, but if Sanking has some space to actually get that Blink Dagger, you're much better off. So Necrophos can fulfill that role instead, and give all that farm to ABED. Let's see if Boom ID agrees with us. What do you ban now?
Lone Druid, I think.
Ban Lone Druid?
I feel like Lone Druid here, there's nothing that you can do in laning stage. If you put Lone Druid against Medusa, Medusa gets slammed.
That's true.
And you get a decent Radiance timing. No matter what happens coming out of the laning stage, it gives you much more of a backup safety net, basically. With this Necro position 1, you've got the Lone Druid as that mid to late game tower pressure and tower damage, which they are lacking. Leshrac currently with the Edict, the only real hero that does damage to towers. They opt to ban out the TA instead. Definitely more of a comfortable hero for ABED.
I'm interested to see if you just hit the nail on the head and pulled off a prediction out of your hat there with the Lone Druid. Because that would be... I see your point, though, with the Lone Druid. The Centaur can cut the lane. Or, sorry, cut and get to the Lone Druid. But
does ABED play LD?
Well, I thought you knew. I thought that's what you were saying.
MP plays LD. So it could still be, you know, the great thing about having ABED and MP, they can swap lanes, swap roles, swap heroes. It's no big issue. What do they ban? They're looking to ban a safe lane carry that pairs with Medusa.
Boom ID can always run the Medusa in the safe lane. Worst case scenario.
I don't like... They're Radiant. If you're Radiant, you really want to put Medusa
yes.
mid. You really, really do.
But if you do see the Lone Druid, right? Like, it's not... The option exists. You have the last pick, right? The ban of the Ursa. What does that mean?
Ember?
Yeah.
Alchemist!
Oh, okay.
Okay. I wanted a Radiance hero. Oh, I kind of wanted LD.
Alchemist is...
I'm a sad boy, but no. Alchemist is equally as good. It still gives you that real nice timing, still gives you that safety net as a late game carry. Plenty of ags if you do go hyper late game to give across to your team.
Very good ban of the Ursa then.
Yeah, that's exceptionally good.
Now, what is Boom ID's option against Alchemist? You want a hero that can sort of start out well, ideally, has a lot of impact against the Alchemist early. What carries are left? You had the Juggernaut that you were talking about earlier.
I mean, there aren't really any carries that deal with Alch outside of Ursa. Like so Timbersaw does okay.
Yeah.
But usually it's mid heroes that deal with the Alchemist.
Yeah.
You know, the Tinker, the kind of Necro, the Pugner. Kunkka doesn't really, but he can lane against the Alchemist decently, and they will likely shift that Medusa into the safe lane, like you were mentioning, which is...
You have to play to win the lanes in this meta, right? Even if it's not the ideal matchup, you need to have a good lane matchup, and the Medusa versus Alch matchup is just not good for the Medusa. So I understand that. And the Kunkka... So when you get the Ghost Ship Burst, right, you can easily hunt the Alchemist in the jungle, but... Well, I say easily. You can hunt the Alchemist in the jungle.
The trouble is, if Alch has ulti off cooldown, you're guaranteed to get ulti off in between X, Torrent,
Oh,
Poke,
for sure.
right?
Yeah.
So it's...
But the burst is really strong in the beginning, right? So if you go with an extra support or something, the issue is that your supports don't really carry too much burst with you.
Yeah, exactly. You're relying on Mist Coil and Fade Bolt, and even though they are pretty OP spells, Alch is a tanky boy. And if Alch goes for the
Armlet build.
I've not seen Armlet a lot recently.
Yeah,
it's mainly the kind of like it's the Kunkka style build with a double bracer into Radiance, that kind of style.
Yeah.
So it just tanks you up, gives you that magic resistance, makes sure that you can't get nuked down, gives you the HP, and of course with your ulti, that regen kicking in.
I want to give it to Fnatic, honestly, in terms of draft. I like their draft a bit better. I think Boom ID didn't really have many options or really answers to the Alch. That Ursa ban essentially took away whatever you wanted to do there. So I think the draft kind of favors Fnatic. They have more stuns as well with the Lightstrike Sanking combo. It's just such a strong opener. You have the Oracle to save the Alchemist, worst case scenario. Necrophos to grab your utility items, the Guardian Greaves. It's a very powerful and early timings lineup. And even though Dusa has a good tempo control, you were mentioning earlier, and Kunkka to some degree as well, Dusa does need to farm after the Mystic Snake power hit. You get the level 7 peak, farm a bit, level 15 peak, and then you can start actually pushing out. But until that level 15, between levels like 9 and 15, you're not the strongest hero in the game.
Especially against the Lesh Sand King, right?
Yeah,
you're looking at this Medusa who's... It is, right? Forced to go into one of the side lanes. Looks like they'll try and tri-lane around Fervian top. We'll see how things pan out.
I missed that one. We hadn't heard it all day.
We haven't. Boom feeling good about themselves after their victory earlier. Now coming into this best of 3 against Fnatic. And the chat wheel spam from both sides. We know what's cooking. Boom!
Boom!
ID.
That choke. It's run its crown. As you were being a dead horse at that point.
Nah. We'll keep going. We'll keep going until they get knocked out.
Boom ID with the Dusa you mentioned, actually, very good point. It's in the safe lane, you're getting less experience, right? Which means that your timings are not necessarily off, but they're slower. And that's worse against an Alchemist. You will not get that peak Mystic Snake as quick as possible. You will get more farm though. But the early farm for Dusa doesn't mean that much, you know. You can get like a Yasha mainly. You can sort of fight. It's okay, but your damage mainly comes from Mystic Snake.
Do they defensive trialing as Fnatic? I'm trying to figure out who has the upper hand. Like we see the Sand King against Centaur matchup again, which we do like the Sand King in, especially early days. But Oracle, Lesh, Necro, triple ranged, I feel does pretty damn well against Rubik, Abaddon, and Medusa. With the Fortune's End, Split Earth, and the Death Pulse, decent stuns and nukes. 3 heroes from Fnatic contesting top rune. 4 heroes from Boom ID though. And 4 is greater than 3. Says Q. Snatches up the bounty rune. A 2-for-2 exchange across the map.
Thanks, Gareth.
Hey, I'm not Valve, dude. I can count past the number 2.
Wow.
Hyper skilled.
There's so many dead horses. Again, just as a machine right now. Symphony of beats.
Diam, Bodo.
Alright, let's see how the lanes go. So you're talking about this tri-lane matchup. Who do you think has the upper hand now that you've seen it? You have the Oracle plus Lesh here. I think the kills on Rubik are a bit difficult early because the Mist Coil really helps him out. But once you get 2 points in Edict...
I think Fnatic have the upper hand. The fact they've got multiple nukes and stuns, especially once they reach level 2.
Also, Medusa's so bad in the tri-lane.
Exactly. That's the primary point. And the fact they get the Ice solo lane against FBZ, I think Ice is going to be reveling in that 1v1. And then the 1v1 mid, Alchemist against Kunkka, should be an interesting one. You know, Acid Spray and Grievel's Greed against Tidebringer and Torrent.
Yeah.
Probably a farm trade for the most part.
I sort of got that Immortal Torrent makes it seem like it's a higher AoE. It's weird, but very effective.
Top lane. This is the trouble with Medusa. Fervian, Fairy Fire, 3 stick charges.
Oh, they block him.
Mist Coil is there to try and heal him up. DJ lands it. Nicely done. Kezcute's keeping him alive, but the damage, it is insurmountable. One more punch will do it, but not quite. MP kills Kezcute. He dies from the Mist Coils, but he kept his Medusa alive. That's the most important part. Well done, Abaddon. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, man, that deserves a prize. It was well played there. You use so many Mist Coils. The sustain is absurd in the early game. Obviously, the spell's very balanced, which is why it had to kill the Abaddon. And Boom, the issue here is that you're still forcing Medusa out of lane. She can't get experience, so you're still level 1, and you really need that level 3. And you're up in a tri-lane. It's just so terrible for Medusa. You have no movement speed either. So there's even Necrophos, who goes at the speed of my grandmother, can't catch you. So right now, Fnatic just has the easiest of time. The Split Earth is not even a hard
ABED?
just land.
Oh.
Mikoto's looking for a creep to hit him with, but the South. Who gets the Arcane Rune? Who gets the Arcane?
Yeah. ABED realizing is just a little bit too slow. A little bit too far behind.
Yeah. So the Dusa right now has to be kind of careful. That, like I was mentioning, Fnatic are starting to control the lane as well. It's their safe lane as well, so they should have a bit more control of these camps if they can do the double pull.
The fact they have so much more sustain just through Necro's, passive, basically, able to keep himself healed up, whereas the Medusa relies on the Abaddon to keep the Mistcoils spammed. They'll go again. Fortune's End Split Earth combo. And kill on the Rubik here would set them in a great position to continue this laning stage domination, but the Mistcoil return will get the kill first.
Nice job, Keski. Bottom lane's a bit of aggression here for FPZ, but he only has 3 retaliate stacks. And on top of the sustain as well, the Heartstopper is actually super annoying when you're playing an Abaddon, because you have to be very careful with your health. If you're just barely above deny range, you can't use that Mistcoil whatsoever. Like, for example, right now, the range on that ability is pretty good. And if you get within that range, Abaddon really has to keep his distance, essentially. Magic Stick luckily keeps him somewhat alive against Necrophos, but still not the easiest lane for them. And Fnatic is showing it. MP is literally doubling the last hits of this Dusa right now.
Yeah, Fervia not having a great time.
It's not his fault, there's nothing you can really do here. It doesn't matter how good of a player you are. And ABED knows this. He's like, I'm farming so well in the Alch, but to be fair, Kunkka is winning this lane, even if only slightly. But since ABED has the Grievous Greed, he'll be winning in that way.
Yeah, double braces there for ABED. Queues up the treads.
Build you were talking about.
I'm expecting the Radiance to come out after. Bottom lane, FBZ does have his Ring of Health, so it no longer becomes an atrocious war of attrition against that Caustic and Sandstorm. He can start pulling across the waves himself to manipulate that equilibrium, even contesting inside the Sandstorm a little bit. As mid lane, ABED and Mikoto, they are towing the line, aren't they? Very close, both of them, to death, but a double damage rune and a salve for ABED will return him to fighting shape in no time.
Yeah, they've been using that courier mainly for the region here for the mid lane, which is good actually, because usually this leaves your safe lane core without much region, and you have to kind of fend for yourself. That's why Abaddon's actually become such a popular pick, on top of the fact that Mistcoil is so strong. But the Necrophos and the Oracle don't really need this, which means Alchemist can abuse this.
Easy pick off on the Rubik top.
Oh, right. Okay.
Maybe Kestiu as well. Do they have a Fortune's End? 5 seconds. Death Pulse and a Purifying Flames. Just enough damage. Maybe the stick charges.
Okay.
Final time.
Good usage there of the trees. Split Earth came a bit too late to get the vision there. So.
But bounty runes are coming up, and that's the important thing with an Alch on your team. 5 seconds until runes. They should get the double top, and it looks like Sand King will grab the third bottom, so a massive amount of income there.
Wow, yeah. So, look at that 2k lead already.
That's the Alch effect.
It is. So then this technically you're getting 6 runes versus 1, right? Because it doubles the rune gold. So it's pretty huge difference, right?
Massive.
Oh, it's 3. Wow, yeah, because he has 3 levels of Grievous Greed. So it's 9 runes versus 1. That is massive difference. That's better than hero kills. Who needs kills when you can just get bounties?
Easy money.
Easy money.
Yeah, the graph. I mean, you see the graph, right? Just open that up for a second. It literally is just a swing down. Cash money.
It didn't even do anything here. He was just grabbing the bounties. Yep. Wow.
So Rubik makes a long walk down towards the triple camp to make sure that Alch doesn't just freely farm stacks and camps back in that area. ABED abusing that medium camp nearby, though. Here
you need to consider blocking. I know it's not very common, but blocking the Ancients and stuff over the Alch, because you might not be able to act too aggressive early on.
The trouble is, like, blocking gives your opponents information and potentially gold, right?
I'm assuming that you're doing the centers, though.
So if you do it with the center, you're wasting 100 gold to stop the Alchemist getting like 150 gold. So it's not really worth it that way. Whereas one Observer Ward that doesn't get scouted gives you info, the potential to contest the stacks in the camps, and normal warding vision as well. I think that's one of the big reasons why camp blocking hasn't been a thing anymore. We see a lot of Enigma, right? Position for Enigma, but people don't block camps. They'd much rather just have like a high ground ward scouting him, so they can either harass him, stop him, catch him, or steal the camps themselves. Supports don't like spending money on stuff, dude.
I mean, it's true that supports are going greedier.
They've got boots to buy.
Well, we see position 4s here being much greedier than like the old position 4. Before there was no such thing as position 4. You just played 2 position 5s, right? So they could spend a lot of that gold. It's a very good point you're making, actually. So I see that, yeah. But you have to then keep like this word though is very valuable for my team. This is the word that tells you is Alch going for the Ancients, Alch going for this triangle, which is one of the easiest to farm for Alch as well, because you put Acid Spray in the middle and you should be able to pull all the camps here.
Yep.
And that's
into the Deathly Hallows.
Yeah, sure.
But you did see what you drew, right?
What? I don't actually know what that means.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. That looks like an...
Have you not watched Harry Potter?
Is that a... what?
Never mind. It's okay.
I'm Spanish. We don't have that. You mean Harry el Potero? FB sending it back. There's a ghost ship ready. And stun down the Torrent. Actually not going to hit, but that was a good chain idea. 4 heroes top, and they're still unable to get the kill, so this rotation fails to some degree for Boom ID.
Big one. I mean, big one charges, yes, from the Necro. He's still level 5, level 3 in the Death Pulse. Pretty nice. No Ghost Shroud, though. Still somehow gets away. That value cloak, the wand.
It is actually a huge value cloak there. That was massive. The missing the Torrent, though, was also unfortunate. It was just... It was a really good idea. Mikoto was playing the high value play with the Kunkka, where you try to get the Torrent right after the Ghost Ship, and it's the most difficult to do, though. Because it means that there's a chance you miss it. Jabs doesn't get Fate Seeked up in time. X marks the spot. Good. There's another high value play where you manage to just waste time, so Fate Seeked does nothing. And Jabs... Oh, Magic Stick up in the high ground. He's gonna die anyway.
Tries to Fortune's End himself to stop them. Not quite good enough.
Yep.
And does buy an extra 5-6 seconds of time, though. You know, forces them to play their hand a little more, waste a bit more mana.
The good thing is they can transition this kill into an out kill potentially, because he's obviously there in the jungle, because ABED keeps his distance. So by doing this is an awkward acid spray. Oh, they're sitting.
Medusa 6th place in the CS. Net worth, same story. 2,700 net worth, not sitting too pretty. While you look at the other side of the map, you know, Sand King has got himself a Vanguard, he's just cutting waves. Second in net worth, just behind the Alchemist. While Centaur yet to really make an impact on this game. These two offlaners have been very, very much sat in the creep waves, just farming away as effectively as they can. But with bounty runes coming up in 50 seconds, we will start to see this shift, where either Sand King or Centaur might look for a TP up top to make a play around this Alchemist, who will start to show on the map from time to time. But you can see here ABED dodging the triangle, feeling that something is up, that area isn't safe, and instead, with the fact he has a tri-lane top, the ease of access of his supports to come and save him in that kind of more western, northwestern area in the jungle, much easier to defend.
He might have seen the Rubik go in that area and is kind of guessing there might be a ward there, or just guessing because he's, you know, a veteran player. This is a very good map awareness though by ABED, because not catching ABED right now is terrible for Boom ID.
Radiant Courier mid.
Oh, what? Okay.
I don't know where it was going, but it nearly died. Top bounty runes though. Torrent boat onto that Lesh. Good Tidebringer hit as well, but no one will die just yet. Ice does make the rotation top, as expected, coming to contest the runes, and that's a kill with the Reaper Scythe on the Abaddon. While down bottom, it does look like the bounty runes get grabbed up by ABED and FBZ, getting one apiece.
Okay, so at least that was only 7-2 bounty runes.
Was that a 3 to? Was it 3 to 1?
No,
yeah,
it's 3 to 1.
3 to 1.
So 10.5 to 1. Yeah, 10.5 to 1 with the Alchemist. Again, it's
Radiant got 3.
Oh, Radiant got 3.
Yeah.
Never mind. Actually, Alchemist still wins though. It's 3 to 3.5. That's ridiculous. That is very stupid. And you still see the 3K win, just mainly the Alchemist though. So the good thing, at least from Boom ID, is that they are beating the other cores. Alchemist kind of swallowing up a lot of the jungle, which means that they can't really recover. But Medusa is one of the worst performing cores this game, which is unfortunate. You have a safe lit Medusa who's not only unable to get levels, but also unable to farm.
She has to make a nest now.
Yeah, she does. Explain that concept though, please, with the nest.
So birds in real life?
No, I know what a nest is, Jesus Christ. I mean what you mean with a Medusa here.
You literally, you know, find yourself a nice spot in the trees, hope that there's no lizards or snakes that come and contest you, and you lay your eggs. Make some babies.
It's very relevant to the Medusa here.
Yeah.
She's laying eggs.
Snake lady laying eggs, you know?
I see that. I see that.
Now you just want to try and, you know, bunker yourself down, find a good place to kind of position yourself in between some shrines, in between some tier 1s, make sure you cannot get contested, farm some stacks and get things rolling, because you are significantly behind this out. I mean, ABED right now is almost doubling up your net worth, and that Radiance timing, once it hits, Fnatic, they're not going to stop, because they've got Hood up on this Necro. MP is pretty much ready just to keep fighting from here on out. He'll go Yules into pipe, and Sand King will have a Crimson Guard soon on top of his urn. I really don't see Fnatic stopping once that Radiance clicks into place. And ABED's going to have it in a minute? A minute and a half?
He is. It's pretty ridiculous. You're lacking the anti-alch pick, which is making this so difficult because once you lose the early game lead, there's no way of recovering against the alch.
Nice. Kunkka's going Spirit Vessel. I was looking at this thinking, hang on a second. Rubik, he's not going to afford it in time. Medusa doesn't. Centaur, maybe he goes for it. And then I click the Kunkka, and I can see Mikoto. Very nice adaptation to go for a Spirit Vessel himself against the alch. So he's going to try and be the anti-ABED hero. But like you're saying, there's no like direct hero counter, right? They have to itemize around it.
And even then, you know, itemization is like Spirit Vessel is really strong against alch. Yeah, it's true, but it's not enough to destroy him, right? You need to have a hero that can burst him down quickly. Takes advantage of his low armor, ideally, because with Radiance, it's still really hard to bring him down. And it's not like Alchemist is gonna fight as soon as he has Radiance anyway.
What you're saying is Jokam has to steal Reaper's Scythe.
Yeah, actually, that's not that hard to do.
It's pretty hard to do.
Yeah, no, because
as like any Necro player presses Reaper's Scythe and they press Death Pulse to try and get the kill straight away. So here we go. Alchemist has the Raddy. The TP cancelled mid lane, baiting Fnatic out a little bit there. So ABED self-stuns. But this is it. This is where things kick into action. 5 heroes from Fnatic swing in to this mid lane. A quick Reaper's Scythe kill on the Rubik will secure it. And they want these tier 1s. I don't think Boom ID can stop them.
Yeah, that tier 1 will surely fall to Fnatic. And this is actually also important, right? Because you're expanding your map. Like, we always talk about reducing the opponent's map, but expanding your map is important when you're playing ALCH. Being able to farm enemy jungle, which is exactly what ABED is doing. And reducing this for the Dusa. Like, this is just a competition between ALCH and Dusa. Except Dusa takes 6 years to farm while ALCH farms in 10 minutes. So, it's a very, very difficult game to play, honestly.
Yeah, like Boom ID, they've got a couple of good wards down, and like you're saying, they do play that bigger map, having taken the top tier 1, pressuring tier 2. The issue I have with it is who plays that area of the map, who plays the triangle up in the top near that top dire shrine. It's got to be Centaur. Centaur has to be the pusher. I think he just has to be the guy that says, hey, I'll risk my life, I'll put my neck on the line just to push out that top wave and force Fnatic back to keep defending.
And you could do it with a Kunkka next marks, but like that's.
I think Kunkka has to kind of play mid lane down towards bottom lane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Play this area of the map, look for picks, while Medusa, obviously sits back much more. Centaur playing up on the top lane definitely does give Medusa more space to farm the triangle, that's for sure. But Fnatic, full control of the Radiant jungle, they can come down for the bottom tier 1 and really close the net in around Boom ID early days.
That's the problem then. See, you have this triangle here, which is the Dusa's current triangle. I can't draw the map anymore. This one. Is the Dusa's current triangle, right, where you're farming, but it's much less effective than obviously your jungle as Dusa, because you're not the fastest ancient thinker. You're okay, but you're not Drow or even ALCH, actually. And
we don't see Mom Dusa anymore.
Exactly. So you're not the hero that can take good advantage of this stack. She actually hasn't gone for Stone Gates to maximize her farming potential. And I like this build, but obviously it sets you out of commission until you manage to get the items that you need. And you really, really need that Manta style, even just to begin with. And then you're going to need to get a couple other items to actually face the ALCH. So the more they can reduce your map, the better for you. And they can even put an offensive ward here and start getting kills with the Sanking Necrophos. Probably there's going to be a lot of protection, though, by Boom ID to make sure Dusa has somewhat of a safe place to farm. It's a difficult game, honestly. Boom ID, just the ALCH was a bit of an outdraft there. We're not expecting that whatsoever.
Yeah. A few little items coming through for MP. Yulsept close to completion. Jabs, nothing really to his name. Boots, 500 gold.
I love that you just randomly look at Jabs. Like, what do you expect him to have?
A windlace. 6 centuries.
He doesn't have the gold for 6 centuries. Actually, he has a lot of gold, 500 gold for support. He's rich, man.
Very wealthy. What's Ice up to? Vanguard Wand, earn, Boots of Travel Q.
Ooh.
So he's not going to finish off the Spirit Vessel or the Crimson. Going for that map maneuverability.
Spirit Vessel is alright, but it's not a necessity as much as you have, against the ALCH, right?
I'm actually a big fan of what Isis is. Like, that boost of travel, very similar to what we see from the Bat Rider off lanes, right? But in this game in particular, you know that lanes being pushed is vitally important, because every time you push the lanes in, it forces the Dusa to fall back and back, right? Her fall back line, it moves from being at the river, where you have 6 camps available to you, to maybe by the tier 2s, where all of a sudden you've got 2 or 3 camps available to you. It cuts her farming area in half pretty much whenever you push out the 2 side lanes. So that tier 1 bottom, very important here for DJ to keep pressuring. Alchemist will join, but the TPs, they are coming through thick and fast to find DJ. The Leshrac Speedy, though, the Disco Pony, dances away.
you see FBZ, like, he immediately turned back. Like, this is too shameful. I'm not going any further. Let's pretend like this never happened.
DJ joining the BGs, staying alive, now contesting the bounty runes. 2 for 2, no, 3 for 1. Oracle grabs up a sneaky Radiant side one on that top part of the map. Have you got the giggles, buddy?
I'm sorry. That took me out of
You okay?
for a bit. Yeah, that BGs was too much for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I won't do it again.
Yes, you will.
Definitely.
Of course you will. The Necrophos here managed to reach level 10. It's actually a pretty big... Well, it used to be a bigger power spike when it was 40 damage, but 30 damage is still considerable. You actually can get solo kills now with the Reaper Scythe. Closer to level 12 as well. Important, as they're going to create some space. And here we start seeing what I was telling you with the Konka. Like, you have to... So this play like this...
Look top. DJ sat AFK in the trees using Edict.
Is it a speed run I'm watching here?
Apparently so. 16 minutes in. They've already gone over the world record by about 8 minutes.
Yeah, unfortunately. They're not going to get that world record, but they might get a pass to Epicenter, which is what they're looking for in this tournament.
I think world record is like 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's actually really, really fast.
5v0 though.
Yeah. Epicenter in the bottom lane. A lot committed to Jokan, but you know what? Kill the Rubik, and more importantly, take this tower, which is what you're looking for. This is the beginning of the end, because now you have much more control over the safe lane. Obviously, of the enemy safe lane.
Mid jump on to Leshrac, misses again. Centaur's blink.
Lesh is a god. Yeah. Nobody can catch Mr. Disco on him.
Yeah, he's got 2 braces as well, so it's not as if it's an easy kill. Even if you blink, stomp, X, torrent, the backup from the Oracle is there, so finding that kill is pretty difficult.
Yeah. And in his speed, it honestly is very interesting. Well, it's not interesting. Everyone knows how quick the Leshrac is, and makes it very difficult to catch him with something that isn't X marks the spot, honestly. Because the host almost missed, what, twice, according to you, so... And what, look at this as well. They're trying to push the lane, but they know they can't do it themselves. So they use Ice here. ABED even joining. He went for a Blink Dagger immediately, so he wants to start fighting here. He has the Unstoppable Concoction ready. This is not quite a battle Alch, but it's closer to a mid-game Alch. They steal the Unstoppable Concoction, but it's only level 2. Rubik is sad about that, as he has now nothing useful to fight the Sanking with. He's charging a Unstoppable Concoction, goes up to 2. The Alch is bursted down, and he doesn't have time to actually activate his ultimate. Now the Stampede used, and Mikoto with that double damage has a lot of damage output, which Fnatic cannot deal with there, but luckily Ice has enough mobility. FBZ chase him down to the shrine. Ice. Oh, there's the S marks the spot, pulling him back. FBZ just needs to get the hoof stomp. That burn strike. Nope, not gonna fool this guy. FBZ had the Quelling Blade ready.
Found ya.
Even the trees are not going to protect this Sanking. Ice will fall.
Super important there for Boom ID. So if we think about what Fnatic were doing there, they had the Lesh and the Necro shoving bot. They get the tier 2. Stone Gazing still... Oh, DJ's still down here. Stone Gaze into Stolen Burrow Strike, and that will be an additional kill. Bonus kills, and that's a 4 for 1 exchange, all things said and done. Was it 4 for 0? Rubik never died? He did, yeah. Rubik did die at the very
Rubik died.
So 4 for 1.
Yeah, 4 for 1.
So from that mid to bottom fight. But yeah, 2 heroes bot for Fnatic, and they had the Sand King, Oracle, and the Alchemist posturing mid. But what Boom did there was really break the ranks. You know, they realized that the formation of Fnatic was this 3+2, where they were trying to pivot off the back of this Dar Observer Ward down on that bottom spire. But finding the Oracle first, really important. We always talk about getting that Earthshaker, Oracle, whatever the fight-swinging hero is, getting that kill means that you're able to get the numbers advantage, not just from the hero advantage, but obviously the spells and the second life he brings with that false promise.
I mean, let's be honest, the Alchemist stunning himself also did not do him any favors. That was the perfect setup for your initiation, which is not the greatest to begin with. And the Konka had double damage as well, so a lot of factors in their favor there, which does not mean that Boom ID might be able to do this again. And we'll see if they are able to reproduce this.
Just their positioning, though, you know, it
was really good, yes, I agree.
They've run into this position here where their tier 1 used to be, and it's kind of out in the open, but they know that they're in the kind of strategic advantage position.
And you know what the greatest part of that team fight was, Gareth? That Dusa was nowhere to be seen.
She was top.
She was farming. Just completely farming there. And is down to 10k. Only 4k away from the Alchemist. Not bad at all.
It's not bad.
I mean, for Dusa versus Alchemist, and Dusa had this piss poor early game, you know, this is a great recovery. You actually have damage now to farm the Ancients a bit more efficiently. You're going for Scotty as second item, and you're going for expensive slots, which I like. As Dusa, you're never going to outfarm the Alchemist, and you can have this space to actually farm, and the expensive slots are worth so much more as the game progresses into the late game. So Manta style Scotty, very high value items.
So what you do need to do now as Boom is just to keep going. You can't take your foot off the pedal at all, because your 4 other heroes outside of the Medusa, they're not exceptionally good at scaling, whereas Lesh, Sand King, Necro, you know, they all bring tons of team fight, tower pressure, and of course, Necro decently scales and becomes incredibly tanky with the item build that MP is going for. So Boom right now, they just need to keep creating space for Fervian, find these team fights. But Fnatic, they know they are still strong. Even with that fight being lost mid and bottom lane, they are ahead quite significantly.
Alright, there's going to be a nice smoke here though by Fnatic. With a blink on Alk already, ice. Mikoto just barely evades him, which means they kind of broke the ranks. Mikoto, ooh, caught by a beautiful blind burst strike. And now the Split Earth as well. Unstable Concoction, he just wants to play. Saved up by the Photic Shield. Is now able to continue fighting, but Mikoto low on HP. He doesn't want to deal with DJ, who's actually completely stabilizing Fnatic's lineup. Stonecase did absolutely nothing for Fervian, and now Reaper's Sight, well, actually saved by the Mana Shield, did nothing to Fervian, but he'll die regardless of the Purifying Flames. Next target is Jokam, who is not going to survive this Alchemist punch to the face, and ABED is looking for the kill on Abaddon. Instead, he'll find, or he'll save himself from the Unstable Concoction self-stun with a Manta style. Well played, as the Abaddon found out and killed off as well. That's 4 deaths for Boom ID. Fnatic really turned this on their head with a great smoke and a beautiful initiation by ISS.
Yeah, it's still a 5v5 clash where both teams kind of knew what was coming. The smoke breaks, Sand King sees the Kunkka, they get a really nice catch on that Kunkka, but he still gets his spells off. The trouble started really when the Centaur moved towards the Necro and didn't have any backup to actually follow through on the kill on MP. So it allowed the Oracle to get the save and the self-yules from the Necro to actually keep MP out of danger as Manta dodge attempted from ABED, not going to work out, still self-stuns. But yeah, that team fight really indicative of Fnatic being incredibly strong with the draft they have. Even though it was just like a 4k lead, it doesn't look like a hell of a lot, especially when you have an Alchemist on your team. But the team fight that they have, the ability to jump on a hero and absolutely annihilate them, get the numbers advantage going, superb from Fnatic. While the Abaddon, he did his best. Spammed Mistcoil, kept people alive. You know, he stopped the Medusa dying to the Reaper Scythe with a really nice Mistcoil. Level 4 healed.
Shield for Kunkka as well there, yep. Right? But there's only so much you can do as an Abaddon. Invisibility. And they chain their stuns properly. Like, what I like about Fnatic is that even though they are chaining their stuns as much as they can, they are always wary for that Aphotic Shield. And we have not seen that Aphotic Shield being the most effective. So with the Abaddon has to use it as the last stun finally comes out, because otherwise the chain just continues and continues, right? It's you put them in a more difficult position because of all the stuns Fnatic has, especially the Unstable Concoction, which is a very low cooldown stun. Often people forget about this because you can charge it for so long. It's what, 5 seconds you can charge it for, right? In 9-second cooldown, you know, that's 4 seconds between the stuns. That's not much at all. Obviously, the next charge up, it's like 9 seconds more or less total. Yeah. Still, it's still considerable. And he's going for the Octarine Core now. And you do go for the Unstable Concoction cooldown level 10, which is obviously what helps you, allows you to do constant Unstable Concoctions.
That fight top gives a 5k swing to Fnatic. They go from 4 or 5k ahead to now 10,000 net worth in the lead, just off the back of that one sick fight. The bounty runes get grabbed up afterwards. Experience lead back in the hands of Fnatic, as Boom did have a 3k lead over them after that team fight with the split pushing that they had been doing thanks to that Medusa. Also farming the jungle, they had spread the map really nicely. You know, Boom having to play big map, it is a necessity here for them rather than something they desperately want to do because they feel they can't fight. They are not in a powerful state right now. Even with Medusa picking up a Skadi, this Dire side really do pack a punch. And with Roshan available for them, it's only a matter of time now. With Dire keeping vision on that northern shrine area, they are pivoting from the 2 ramps, as we've been explaining before, being able to push out multiple waves at the same time and get in on top of the tier 2s while defending Roshan in the back is always ideal.
Yeah, Al keeps farming there this whole time, right? So he stays relevant. He's looking for the Octarine Core finish, and he's now starting to take away the triangle from the Medusa, so they have no safe space to farm whatsoever. Look at these camps. Like she can't go that far. It's too dangerous. And these camps are the safe ones, and now they're all there. So Medusa is just crying. She wants her gold, and she doesn't have it.
So just by being here, Fnatic, you can see what's happening with Boom. They're spread across like 2,000. So from top tier 3 towards the right-hand side of the mid-tier 1. You think about how far they spread across this entire line. Whereas Fnatic, they have one point from which they launch themselves. They have one place where they can synchronize their movements, whether it be left or right. It doesn't matter.
Yep. And obviously taking away acting as gatekeepers for Medusa's farm is also pretty big there. So it's just
Yeah.
Fnatic is just playing well. The moment is exactly there.
Yeah, like I said, like 10 minutes ago, it cuts her farming area from, you know, the 6 camps in that place literally in half down to 3.
Cuts the potential for Roshan, as you were mentioning as well. Yeah. So yeah, it's really good. And Fervian is not confident yet to fight. He does have a Scotty.
Bottom bounty rune battle.
Oh, it's Ice who wins it again. This is the second time Ice does this game.
They bring everyone here, so Medusa, kind of isolated, needs the backup of the Centaur and the Kunkka. Stuns.
Confident. That was a really, really wary TP. They catch her. Yes, Stonegate still needs to activate a ghost ship to help her out. Fervian fights this till the end. The Stampede helping out Fervian. But Fervian thinks he can continue fighting this, apparently. Confident that he deals damage. Is realizing now that he does, instead caught out by the epicenter, and this earthquake is putting Fervian in a terrible position. The body block as well. Fervian, how will you survive this? Alchemist is chasing after you. Reaper to keep her in place. She's out of mana, even with the help of the ABED, and she cannot survive.
Oh, Kunkka BKB TP is wearing out. The stun is there. The Yules as well. Beautiful from Fnatic.
They stop Mikoto, and now the second body block comes out, even with the Ghost Shred slow, with the extra level 15 talent. Mikoto fights to the death, but he will get no one in return for his own soul.
Radiant team, reliant on these, you know, not long cooldown abilities, but definitely their ultimates are vital in winning these team fights. The Torrent Boat was great, Stone Gaze was perfect, the Stampede, the Blink Stomp all looked good as they tried to catch the Oracle in the back of the fight as well. But Fnatic, they have this multi-cycle that they can bring to the table. You mentioned it earlier on, Alchemist with his low cooldown stun, spamming it.
Yep.
I didn't see the fight recap, but I'm pretty sure he got 4 or 5 concoctions going out there.
I never click on that tab. You should click it in more often. It's just that oftentimes the flight recap gets split into 2, and it's just so annoying, and I hate it. Because I know there was people died that did not get shown in the fight recaps.
But again, it's one of those situations, you know, we talked about it in the previous series, where the fallback plan, Boom ID fall back into a choke point. Yes, they're trying to get to their shrine, but if they'd stood and fought maybe on that lower ramp, they might have been able to just continue fighting. It was just Fnatic, too much firepower. Now with a 15k lead, I think this game is starting to really get out of hand. I don't know if Medusa can solo carry this one. 1v9.
Definitely not like this, though. If you stand there, this is how you die. The Aphotic Shield, this is what I was talking about earlier. If you use it a bit early, the chain stuns continue, but hey, maybe the kill into Leshak is possible. False Promise to help him out, though. Stone Gaze, making sure ISS isn't care. He's just looking away, using his Sandstorm as damage. Finally pushed away. The Stampede is committed, really, just to walk away as the Alk now.
See, Fnatic now know they can do Roshan.
Yeah,
they know that Stone Gaze, Stampede, both on cooldown.
That was huge Stampede. Is that really...
They need, like, they're so afraid. They're so afraid that this Alk, this, you know, Reaper Scythe, they didn't know exactly when it was coming up off cooldown. It was pretty close timing-wise. But if they drop that Medusa to half HP, or I guess like a third of her HP now with Mana Shield on her, of course, but with level 2 Reaper Scythe, 1/3 HP and a bit of mana on this Medusa, if she has no buyback, which she doesn't, the game could very easily end there.
She almost has it, actually.
Now, yes, but I mean in that mid-fight.
I don't know.
If she dies there, the game ends.
You're totally right, yeah. ABED will take the Roshan now. I'm assuming it's going to go to ABED. Right?
Yeah, it should be Aegis for the Alk.
Shiva's as well for him as his next item, which, you know what, I kind of like it against, I'm assuming against Shiva. So.
Against Dusa.
Yeah.
Attack speed slow,
exactly.
Bonus armor.
It's not bad against Kunkka either to slow him down and kite him a bit, because Kunkka needs to get to a hero, right, to get a Tidebringer. We've always seen the Kunkka as like trying to get the Tidebringer off and can find a single target to use it on.
Oh, bottom lane, they're setting up.
This could be an easy kill for the Dusa. Or not the Dusa, sorry. Fervian. There's the help from Keskute. But again, the Aphotic Shield has to work. If you use it before after all the stuns are done, they're out of stuns here.
The TP.
Oh, maybe not. Still a concoction. A second away. That TP in the face works. And they'll just revenge kill poor Keskute. Like, die! We wanted your core, we'll take you instead.
I can't believe that works. Misplay, I guess, by ABED. I don't want to call him out, but I'm gonna. Using the stun for damage instead of waiting for that TP cancel. But MP was nearby. They're bringing, you know, Oracle towards the fight as well. He thought that he had the timing. He thought that Medusa was caught and for sure killed. Close one. Very close one. Especially now Medusa has bought Chrysalis and is yet again without buyback.
Who needs that? You're going to have more damage. I don't need buyback if I'm just killing everything in my wake. That's the point of Fervor.
Jokum top.
At least it's not Sanjin Yasha. So that's what I'll take.
There's no way Rubik escapes, right? Urn is on him for another...
Let's play What the Horse.
Seconds.
Don't you remember that game?
Oh no, Rubik's fine. Rubik's fine.
What do you think is going to happen?
Rubik blinks and TPs.
Blink in 3 seconds. ISS doesn't have burrow strike. Yeah, I think it's actually fine.
So we're gonna count to 3. Rubik's gonna blink, and then he's gonna TP.
3. Oh, no
It's
blink.
not blinking.
No blink. Yo scepter's up.
That's a big that's a big mistake. That is actually like a big mistake by Rubik. I don't like. What's the reason? What's the reason for not blinking?
I'm not gonna engage with you in this because there's nothing else. But
okay, it's a rhetorical question. There is no reason.
Yeah. I mean, his blink got cancelled by a sandstorm, right?
Well, he had Urn on him.
Oh, okay. So that was.
No, but that's why I wanted to count to 3. Was because Urn Urn was 3 seconds duration. I even pinged it out.
Oh,
in
right.
chat.
Okay.
4 seconds duration. So he could have. Yeah, whatever.
Now
whoopsie.
Whoopsie here too. As FBZ misses his stun, they still fight him. And that miss of the stun didn't really matter. I think he was dead anyway. But you know, when you die with style, and sometimes you just die like a jester.
Invisibility.
That is gonna be Fnatic just starting to really take the lead this game. I mean, obviously the Alch has been loving the whole time, but to get these kills honestly puts Boom ID in such a terrible position because you have a hero that that is swallowing up all the farm.
Don't look at me as I Google Indonesian street food.
Is that what you were looking up?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm hungry, dude.
I have this curry Schwartz.
I just want some gado-gado.
What is that?
It's yummy stuff. It's like rice with cucumber and peanut sauce. Get some satay going.
Considering your national food is fish and chips, I will never trust a British.
What do you mean? I'm not British.
What are you then? Where's that accent from?
I'm fake British. I'm a foreigner in my own country.
Well, what are they called? Child of no nation?
See, yeah, I'm a nomad. Like the British consider
but not
me.
the caster.
No, not the caster. The Germans consider me English. The English consider me German or Southeast Asian. The Southeast Asian consider me English or just European. Okay. I don't have a home. I don't have a nationality. I've lived in too many places.
Now after Garrett's life story, we continue with the game. As we get Fermion slowed down by the Ghost Shroud, they get the stun up, a nice Lotus Orb stopping that, and they'll actually return that Fortune's End as well. But the Ghost Ship should hit the Oracle. They can kill him in time. Yes, Oracle's gone. No more false promise here. Epicenter started, but doesn't deal enough damage to kill anything. As
the Deuce is in trouble.
Is tanking up all this damage from the Alch. Another beautiful Lotus Orb stopping her, and the Reaper Scythe is actually tanked by the Deuce again because of the Mana Shield. That Lotus Orb did so much for them, but unfortunately Center's now down, so they don't have any more Lotuses. Even though they pushed the Alchemist away with the X marks the spot, he's still gonna get that kill on the Dusa.
Fnatic still have so much more in the tank as well. They're diving Fountain, they don't care. KEZQ needs to die. ABED tanking through the Fountain damage. And a burrow into burrow as Rubik returns the Fountain, but ABED lifted. Spirit Vessel, Manta to dodge, and now trying to escape. Anyway. He's got the Aegis and an X mark back. We'll drag him into danger, but this is a full Fountain dive from Fnatic. The BM is real.
Yeah. It's a tactical play, because if you kill the Abaddon again, then he cannot spawn, right? And that way you don't have the healing of the Aphotic Shoot. It's next level. You don't understand. I can't even explain it.
DJ with Greaves, pipe up on MP. The tier 3 is fallen to this level 4 Diabolic Edict. And Kunkka scratching his head, wondering what the heck he's meant to do.
He's trying his best for those torrents, but there's only so much a torrent can do, really. The damage is kind of minuscule. He didn't even go for the torrent damage, obviously. And he's forced. Wow, the Lotus Orb is used against them.
Yep.
Mikoto just realized what a real next level play is. And I think KEZQ is also screwed. There's a Ghost the Ghost Shot's not available, but they don't need it. The Pro Circuit will catch him. This is not looking good for Boom ID. Fnatic dominating this game with an Alchemist pick. Their draft so strong. And they just don't know what to do against ABED.
Yeah, this Alchemist last pick has absolutely royally screwed them over. He's got himself an Aghanims on the Courier as well. I don't know if he's going to give it to the Sand King or the Necro, but there's so many good options as they'll find the Rubik deep behind tier 4s. Drop the chat wheels. You know what's cooking.
Boom.
Sure.
ID.
They sure are. Cooking up a loss.
Yep. And it's not going to be a tasty one. This is going to taste like the sour defeat that it is when you get outdrafted by an Alchemist last pick. Not much you could have done. That, again, I'm going to just go back. I think what won the game, the play that won the game was the Ursa ban. I think that was it. That was the moment where I thought
Ursa ban won the game.
The Ursa ban won the game. I wonder how long they're going to withstand this. Like, what is your plan here if you're... Because you don't want to get tilted, you know, coming to the second match. There's a point to be made there that you don't want to fight a losing battle too much. But this is time to strategize. This is time to talk to your teammates and say, what do we do for this next match? Prepare, you know.
Ban Alch. Do not let ABED get Alchemist again.
Okay, so you can't let ABED get Alchemist. You can't let ABED get Dusa. You can't let ABED get Meepo. Obviously, you can't let ABED get anything.
Queen of Pain.
Queen
or
of Pain.
Hunker. Or
Storm.
Yeah, it's like...
Hunker. Ban ABED. Just the
ban
person.
him.
Like, yeah.
Don't think that's a possibility, unfortunately, for Boom.
Just need to play in a country with restricted visas. All I need.
How many bounty runes? 4 for Fnatic? What kind of net worth swing is that? Holy crap.
Senking laws are finished. I mean, that bounty runes. Oh, wow, that's actually... I kind of want to see in that graph.
It's a slide.
It's a slide. It's a slippery slope of death for them.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
And they'll take the D-ward as well. This was necessary, right?
Yeah, last chance to play off this high ground.
They'll try their best. The Shivas to start off with. Stonegaze forced out already. This is exactly what they ideally want. Wait at the Stonegaze and now go back. Hulk actually turned to stone because he was just watching the team fight. He's just a spectator here. A bit of a voyeur. Got punished for his weird fetish. And now it's time for them to kill Dusa. Fervian was not going to withstand this. He's going to go down for 80 seconds. The good game is called, but I don't think it's GG. There's the GG.
I mean, Medusa's dead without buyback. There's literally no chance whatsoever. The Daedalus is fully completed. And the game will end there. Fnatic 26-7, 26-... They don't get the additional one. They don't get up to 27. They don't get up to 27. But they do close out the game in style. 36 minutes, a very simple one-sided game. 38k